This is Tennyson E Stead, writer and director of Quantum Theory, founding member of 8-Sided Films, coming to you with another 8-Sided blog. And this blog today is to encourage folks who are coming into Hollywood to pursue careers of any creative kind, whether they be actors, whether they be directors, whether they be screenwriters, or anything else, and this is going to be a hard bullet to bite, stop looking for work. Or at least stop looking for work as the primary source of building your career. One of the scariest statistics that I was presented with when I first moved here, and I'm sure it's gone up since then, is that there are 700 people every day showing up in Los Angeles to work in entertainment. A lot of these folks are untrained, and yes, a lot of them don't know what they're doing, and at the same time, a lot of executives in this industry, and even a lot of agents and managers, are coming into this business from other businesses and don't necessarily have the habits of seeing actual skill and craft when it's there. Most people in this town today who have come into this business from other industries are going to be looking for ideas that they can connect to rather than the skill to make a good film. And the way Hollywood is built today, if the skill isn't there but the idea is there, people are going to get excited, they're going to come in, they're going to, invest in the project, and then folks with the skill will come in after to fix the mistakes that have been made. It's not the most efficient or effective way to work, and it doesn't always create the best art, but we're built to manage the risk of creativity in that way right now. So, even on the best of days, relying on the studio system and on the larger independent sort of mini major system for the bulk of your work is bound to create frustrating creative experiences, because you're going to keep winding up involved in projects that are being undermined by the fact that the other people that are there aren't always brought together by the things that make a show actually great. They're not brought together, in other words, by their craftspersonship and their showpersonship. They're brought together by their ability to pitch a tone and their ability to pitch an idea. Those are important skills, but they are not defining skills when it comes to what makes a movie excellent. So you need to take a look at whether or not that system should be the bread and butter of your creative validation and even of your financial future. Because when there are so many people coming here looking to get involved and standing in line, literally, there are lines outside, auditions, outside casting offices. The lines are getting longer and longer and longer, and agents and managers are getting more effective at whittling through them and taking in just massive amounts of screenplays, massive amounts of actors, and then throwing them at directors in rapid fire and rapid succession just to see what sticks, just to see what goes bing. Then they'll latch onto that and they'll start selling that instead of having a roster of actors that they know how they work, they know what goes into the craft, and they will turn around and try and convince a director to hire this one person. That is not how agents and managers work these days. The sales process has disintegrated, and now what we have instead is essentially just this scattershot marketing where they just throw all this information at you, and the one piece of information you as a director or a producer pick out of that is the one they're going to try and keep you connected to. Actors, screenwriters, everything else, it's all been reduced to memes, which is, I'm sure, a cultural byproduct of where we are as a society. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just explaining to you that if you come here looking for work, you are literally one tiny little tile in a mosaic of something that you don't even get to know what it is. And the mosaic is what's being sold. And no one's going to notice, okay? Or if someone notices, you have defied odds that don't have any business pursuing. You see what I'm saying? It's monumental. So let's take a step back from that problem and let's look at it from a different perspective. Let's look for different solutions, okay? And one of the things that I always tell young actors or young directors or writers or anybody else who's coming into Hollywood that I wind up speaking with is that actually The way Hollywood works is very much the way high school theater works, okay? If you're trying to impress the seniors and you want to work on the big main stage shows, whatever they happen to be in your school, you do not, as a freshman, show up for every single audition. You don't beg and scrape your way, or you can, that's fine if you do, but that's not what's going to make you successful in that high school theater department. It's not. What's going to make you successful is going and finding a play that you're extremely passionate about and that you can take the time to produce, and then going and finding the other actors or director or whatever else you need to make that play happen, and then producing it. And if it's great, and if your reasons for wanting to make this play are in fact the same reasons other people would want to watch it, then the high school seniors are going to be like, man, why didn't you call me? Why didn't I get to be involved in this? What, you know, and then you've got them. then you're going to be in the show that they produce next. Or you may have something better to do with your friends. You know, that's how you get recognized in entertainment, is you go and you put on a show, and if it's great and other people wish that they'd been involved, they're going to make sure they're involved. You know, keep it that simple for yourself, and start producing content that you're excited by and passionate by. And I tell you something else, it's not even the attention of those seniors or whoever you may be courting, right? It's whoever you're auditioning for, whoever you're trying to impress. That's not even the most important thing. The most important thing is the tickets you sell, and the other freshmen sitting there in that audience, and whoever else, their parents and whoever else came to see the show, connecting with you and you connecting with them, and you thank them very much. You're probably stunned if a lot of people showed up, or you're probably pretty upset with yourself if not a lot of people did. If not a lot of people showed up, then the seniors are not going to be as impressed, I promise you that. But again, not the point. The point is you start building an audience, and an audience is a community, right? So you want to make sure that there's more shows for those people. You want to make sure that those people who came, they keep coming to something. You've got to give them something else, right? You got to keep them involved. They came and they loved it. They want to see more from you. They want you to succeed, and they're going to show up, you know, if you keep providing them with good reasons to. So keep them showing up. Keep providing them with good reasons to. Keep the lines of communication open in the meantime. Let them know what's going on and what the trials are. They want this to work. They met other people at that show. They were there. They shared an experience with other people. There's a connection there. Build on that connection all the time. And fairly soon, it doesn't matter who's inviting you to work with them. It really won't, because you're going to have your own thing going on. You're going to have your own tickets to sell. You're going to be too busy to worry about what other people think about you. You know, and maybe that busyness is going to be the act of building this audience. Maybe it's, you know, it's still a really difficult process, or maybe you'll be very successful early on and the demands of the audience will be the thing that keeps you busy. But either way, there's no time for the shows that other people want to do unless they make it easy for you. Right? And that's where you want to be. That's when you get the phone call and you actually get offered a truckload of money, is because someone out there knows you're a busy person and you have all these productions you're responsible for, and they have to make it easy for you to get involved in their production. You know, because that money isn't just a sign of your value. That's not just what the money is. The money is there because you have to somehow make that show work with all the other things you're doing. You have less time for other stuff. So that's okay, because you're going to spend money on it. Do you see what I'm saying? Time becomes more expensive. If you're not there to run around and, you know, pull together all the equipment for your set for this little production that you're doing that you know people are going to show up for, so you're certainly not going to bail on it, then maybe you'll use some of the money that you get paid for the larger production. That money is there to make your life easier so you can do the things people want you to do. That's why you get paid. Do not get hung up on the audition process. Don't get hung up on all the casting directors who don't understand your value. Don't get hung up on all the script readers who are coming into this industry from who knows where. Maybe they're frustrated screenplay writers themselves, or maybe they have marketing degrees. Who knows where these people are coming from? They're coming literally from all of these different places. and they have various skill sets, and you are very, very fortunate each and every rare time you come into contact with someone whose job it is to judge you, who actually knows how to judge you. It's so rare that even if they judge you poorly, if they do it for the right reasons, you're going to be thrilled at the experience. Most of the time, they just don't know. That goes back to the previous blog about trust your expertise. But if you've been doing this for 10, 20, 30 years and someone else is reading your screenplay but they've been doing it for 2, you're not wrong for doing what you're doing at that point. Relax, okay? But focus not on finding a way to attain this numbskull's approval. Don't worry about it. Produce your own show. Make your own thing. And the person that person works for may or may not notice at a certain point. That's not even your problem. That's their problem. Because if you're out there producing shows and your audience is growing, you're moving forward, at that point it's their opportunity to lose. At that point they have to find a way to get you to take a break from the things that are actually important to you to come and work on what's important to them. If that's not ultimately what you want from entertainment, if what you want is not a personal connection with an audience and the ability to work with the people you want to work with to satisfy that audience, the reciprocation that comes not just from watching the audience watch you, but also, all the effort that goes into communicating with them in between times about what you're doing and what's up with them and what else they find interesting, and sometimes just what's going on with their lives, and to be the absolute best that you can be for all of these people, for the people that are showing up to watch and for the people you work with. It's our responsibility to make sure, right, that when those people come to work with us or they come to see us, that we are the absolute best person for them to be coming to see or work with. If that is not what you're after, you're barking up the wrong tree. You need to be focused on a different industry and a different kind of work, because at the end of the day, that's not just where the money is. When it is where the money is, that is how you make money in entertainment, and don't let anyone ever tell you differently. It's also where all the gratification comes from. And with that, I will leave you. Have a magnificent evening. Thank you for watching this 8-sided blog.